Hi guys. In this video, I kind of wanted to talk about money and my kind of experience with money and my kind of views on it a little bit. And I'm kind of like going to give a timeline of my experience with money, starting off with the family I was kind of born into. And our financial situation was better than most. We were definitely upper middle class, and we were quite well off. My grandparents weren't quite well off. They were very poor, but my grandparents worked hard, got scholarships, and got really good jobs, and they're decently well known. But I obviously don't want to put them out there on the internet, so I'm not going to say their names. And then my parents are both working people, and they both work very good jobs. So we've always had good money, definitely above middle class, but we're not upper class because we've always been working. So I didn't really see it as a thing. I was a little bit ignorant to it for a part of my life. And at the start, so at the start when I was younger, I really liked Minecraft, and I would play Minecraft all the time. And then starting in primary and intermediate, I had a Chromebook, and I would download as many Minecraft YouTube videos from my favorite YouTubers and go to our house where we didn't have Wi-Fi because we didn't have a service. We lived on a farm by choice. And I would just watch them over and over. I adored the Minecraft YouTube videos, and I adored I just loved the game, and I wanted to become a Minecraft YouTuber, and so I started making videos, and I really liked it. And then I went into high school as I started making those videos, and that's where my self-worth went downhill, as I've talked about in previous videos. That high school was really where I started to put up my walls, and I started to have trouble with people, and then I kind of lost the confidence to do the YouTube videos and lost the time with school, and so I quit that. And as the my self-worth started to disappear, I started looking for ways to solve it, and I came to the conclusion that if I had enough money, then I could have confidence, because if I had, let's say, $1 million, I wouldn't care what anyone thought, so I would just be myself, because that was the goal, just to be myself. And it ended up, I was chasing money. I was chasing money for my self-worth and quote-unquote freedom. And the first thing I did was join crypto, like Bitcoin and all that. And the first thing I did, my uncle introduced it to me, and over a couple weeks, I worked hard on the farm, and I built up, or more than a couple weeks, I built up $1,000 crypto portfolio, and that was weeks and weeks of work. It ended up going decently. I made like $500 in the next month, and it felt meaningful. I mean, it was self-earned money, and I'd never seen that kind of money before. And then what happened? Then I ended up shifting to meme coins when they were first coming out, and I ended up making a lot of money and then losing a lot of money. And over the next while, I just ended up just losing money on meme coins. I went through my gambling phase. Actually, no, that's not true. After I built the portfolio, I went into my gambling phase, online gambling, and then I lost it all, or most of it. And then I started meme coins and consistently lost money for the next a year to couple months, a few months. Then while I was doing the meme coins, I was working with this guy. He had a decent amount of money from meme coins, and we wanted to run like a successful project together. And he sent me $2,000. I ended up trying to trade with it, losing half of it, and then going on a gambling website, making all of it back and more, and then losing it all in one night. And that was $2,000, which in my currency in New Zealand, that was $4,000. That was a lot of money. And when he first sent it to me, I almost cried because it was just so much money. I had just worked weeks to build a $1,000 portfolio like a year ago, and now I just got sent $2,000 for nothing. And that was a really big moment for me. And then I felt so much shame and so much emotional weight after I lost that, because I ended up losing all of it. And yeah, I ended up leaving crypto and trying to do business and drop shipping and all that none of that ever worked out. I went back into crypto, and the guy I used to work with, who I borrowed $2K from, he wasn't like super he was disappointed that I lost, but he wasn't super annoyed because he had a lot. I ended up working with him again, and he had lost access to one of his wallets that had 100,000 US in it, $100,000, and he couldn't get access to it. So I hopped on call with him. And I used ChatGPT to code up a simple bot that would try all possible combinations from what he had as his private key, and ended up getting back into it. And he was really grateful. So he sent me 25K American, which was almost 50K New Zealand dollars. 17-year-old kid just got sent an insane amount of money. After that, like that was big. I cried. Like I had never even imagined I would make that money. And it's been years I had been chasing money at that point. And then from there, I ended up losing half of it on trading, and then half of it on buying random shit I didn't need. Like my PC alone is worth 5K, and my entire setup together is probably worth 8K. And I just fill out spreadsheets on it for my job. So I can't really resell it because you can't really resell stuff like that. I did try. And so I spent half of it and lost the other half of it trading meme coins, which was just pretty much gambling. And then after that, school was becoming too much, and that's where I dropped out and made my first video. And then I went on I'd quit crypto after that. And then I went on my trip to America. I also made a video on my trip to America. Yeah. And then it gave me a lot of mental clarity and gave me a lot of perspective. And I was like, okay, I've spent like the last 4 or 5 years trying to make money. I've spent hundreds, thousands of hours in the crypto space, and I've got nothing to show for it. And so while I was the last week of my trip to America, I started messaging a bunch of old people I knew, putting together a group, and we started leverage trading crypto. That was like as going from meme coins to leverage trading crypto is like going from trading crypto to stocks and options. Like it was a very I saw it as a very mature move, like to not gamble anymore. And then over the next couple, I would give them calls and I'd make a percentage of what they make, and then I'd enter the trades too with my money. And we ended up making, or I ended up making, I don't know what they ended up making, but they were all in profit, in very good profit. This was the week that Bitcoin dropped below 80,000, and we started shorting it at 111,000, and we shorted a bunch of different stuff, and we were trading at like 40x leverage. So a bunch of random words, sorry. I ended up making around 8k American, 16k New Zealand. Then I got this job, and I ended up quitting crypto. I took all the money out, put in my bank account this time, and put in a savings account. Smartest decision I ever did. And then I got this job, and I obviously made a video when I got this job for the timeline on that. And then the guy I used to work with, I did the leverage train with him as well. He was part of the group. While I was doing my job and I quit crypto and I was making videos, he offered me 5k American, or I'll just say US dollar, to rejoin the crypto space and keep doing leverage trading with him, because when I made 8k off the profits of other people, they sent me a percentage, and then off of my trades as well, I made around 2k off of my trades alone. He made around 16k. So he said he was willing to just send me 5k straight off the bat just to start doing trades with him again, and then he'd send me 1k for every trade I gave him, which was, I couldn't really refuse that. And so I started doing that again, and in the end I made another 8,000. And the trades went well until we hit a trade that lost us around 8k. And so he had just got a business proposal from his brother, and he was ready to leave the crypto space as well. So we both kind of left the crypto space, but we both left in a good profit. And then it was another 8k USD, so I put it in my bank account. So I had around 29k in my bank account, which I ended up spending around 6k on leisure and just fun stuff. Stuff obviously I still have, but maybe a bit excessive. I spent around 13k investing in gold, because I just want an asset that's definitely going to go up over time that I can just put my money into, and it's cool to kind of own gold, and it's just I feel like it's the best thing to invest in. Then I spent the rest of it on a car, and then I spent like maybe 9k on a car, and I'm going to pick up that car this upcoming weekend. So not tomorrow, but the next day, which is pretty cool. I'll have my first car, which will be awesome. And yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at now. So with that whole situation, it started out working weeks just to make $1,000 NZD, so that was $500 American, and then ending up making 50,000 New Zealand dollars within a single moment, just helping a guy out and making a lot of money over time with more skill than luck. and then ending up learning from my mistakes and successfully, or I hope successfully, investing it. We'll see if gold goes up, but it's also something that it's an investment that I can't take out and spend. Like if I see something I really want, I can't just sell all my gold off. It's a hard process. So that's good too. But I think with money, it's very easy to see money as self-worth, freedom, with guys on the internet that kind of put it that way. But it's kind of corny to say, but it's all on the inside. Like it's the answers you're looking for, money isn't gonna save you. And that was big for me, realizing that. And that is partially what allowed me to start doing these YouTube videos and starting to become who I am without chasing money. And that the money was actually taking me farther away from who I was because I wasn't being myself to get the money. And I think people see money is kind of like it's like you trade your time for money, and then you trade your money for maybe experiences or this or that, or a better life for your family or something. It's like, it really gives a good perspective, especially in the perspective where it's like, if I work, an hour and I make $25, my hour's worth $25. Or it's like, if I sit here scrolling on my phone, then I'm kind of providing the big social media companies value, but I'm just giving away my time for free and my energy, and that's not really, it's not really fair because I'm not really getting a good experience out of it. So maybe I should stop scrolling. But that's obvious for the individual person what they want to do. But yeah, I think I got a lot of that perspective on from money, and a lot of, it's interesting because a lot of the people I meet, like I meet a lot of backpackers and that, because we have a lot of them stay on our farm, on hitchhikers, and they are always a lot happier. They always have confidence, real self-worth, or usually, and they're generally just happy. Or in the moment, that you can have your bad days, but they're usually just enjoying life, and they barely have any money at all. And I think it was important I made that money and lost that money so I could really realize that money isn't the answer. It really isn't. And I realized that I don't think I truly ever really want to be rich, because as I've talked about in another video, it doesn't get rid of your problems. It just gives you different ones. And I look at the problems my parents had, being upper middle class, and I look at the problems some of the backpackers had, and it's kind of like, some of the things I say I'm just going to acknowledge it. It may be a bit ignorant because I did grow up in an upper class family, and yeah, so maybe some of the stuff may not be maybe a bit ignorant, but I kind of think that, like, once you get past the point of survival and maybe a bit of money saved up for emergencies, like my friends, when I hang out with them, even though I've got a lot of money, we don't even spend that money. We just hang out. We just be around each other, and those are when I have the best times and the best experiences. So, and when I hang out with the backpackers, we don't spend any money. We just go to the beach and play some football or that. Like, I really saw money for something it wasn't, and I couldn't really come to that conclusion until I had I didn't have an amazing amount of money. I had a decent amount of money, or I guess some people would call it an amazing amount of money, but it made me realize that that was not where it's at. But yeah, that's kind of just like my experiences with money and kind of my perspective on it. It's a more interesting one because obviously some people just naturally come to this conclusion, I think. I had to go through a bit of a journey to get to this conclusion, but I think I'm better off for it. But yeah, the date is January 15th. I'm currently in a hotel room. I'm traveling for my job, covering the stores over here. And yeah, I just thought I'd make a video. Yeah, that's it. And this is like, even though this is less of a YouTube, this is kind of more of a documentation, because when I like was focusing on making my YouTube Minecraft videos, it really felt bad to me that no one would watch them. They get like 7 views, and I spent a decent amount of time editing them, and I would upload them and be really excited, and I ended up not getting many views, and it really hurt me, especially because when I started doing that is when I went to high school and my self-worth was low, and then just nothing was working out for me, and it felt really bad. And I guess that's one of the reasons I end up not doing it. But now with the style of this channel, it's more of a long-term documentation kind of. I do also like read the comments, and I really appreciate a lot of the nice stuff that is said. But yeah, it's like, it's kind of, I don't know really how to explain what my plans are for this channel. There's not really many plans. I kind of just talk. I don't expect people to ever watch these. I doubt anyone will ever see these. Maybe someday, you know, someone will watch them, but yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. And for plans for this YouTube channel, I'm just gonna keep making videos like this. You never know, maybe these help someone out there, you know? Maybe someone watches these and they're like, hey, I was really struggling with self-worth, and this was a big thing for me, and this really helped me, or I don't know. Yeah, that's about the end of the video. See you guys.